I want to welcome everybody to today's video breakdown of Anthony Edwards. We're going to take 10 clips from his game last night and his 44-point on 16 of 25 shooting performance and a 115-107 loss to the Denver Nuggets in Game 4 in Minnesota. In these clips, I want to take a look at how he got his shots, some of the things to look at. If you're a player, why do you develop those skills? Some of the percentages of the looks that he's getting. And as a coach, why and how are you going to develop young players or players that you work with and to try to work in some of these skills that you saw happen last night and some of the reads that were done. Before we start, I'd ask everybody to like and share and follow and try to build these programs up. I want to build the audience up. I want to just build up the people that I share this information with, as many coaches and players as we can. All right, let's get right into it and let's go to work. All right, first clip. In transition, change of speed, going to finish at the rim over Aaron Gordon. Let's take a look at it. Edwards shoots at the rim 62%, which is very respectable. As a perimeter player that's going to drive and try to finish, and be a productive finisher, you want to shoot anywhere in the low to mid 60s is a very respectable number. Guys like Luka could shoot about 71%. Trey Jones could shoot about in the high 60s. Those guys are very high-level finishers at the rim. So being able to get in there and convert is huge. On the drive here, watch as Denver's going to load up, all right? But watch as he starts his drive and he's going to split in between, Murray and Jokic as he changes speeds. You got to be able to play with multiple speeds to keep the defense sort of on the guessing, on their heels and guessing. So he changes the speeds, gets to the rim, all right? What he's got to look out for here is when he's making his drive, or hands trying to swipe the ball. All right, he gets it low, but again, grips that ball pretty hard. So if they strip or they go from the weak side, like Porter trying to swipe at the ball, which he doesn't, but you don't want to get the ball stripped when you get in the paint. Now, as he beats his man, he's got Aaron Gordon to deal with. Aaron Gordon's got Rudy Gobert, so he could either play off for the drive and guard Gobert hard, and that's going to be an easy finish for Edwards, or he could step up, which could open up a drop down to Gobert, at the last second. So a change of speed, splits it. All right, now Aaron Gordon is going verticality. All right, in the NBA, if you're inside the charge circle and you go vertical like this, where arms are straight up, body straight up, you could take contact without a foul being called. He gets to the basket, all right, finishes through the contact, and right at the rim. My next clip, going to be mid pick and roll with Gobert. Going to keep his dribble, change direction, pull up at the free throw line for a jump shot. All right, let's take a look at it. Now, Edwards is a pretty efficient player, shooting 46% from the field, which is very respectable for a shooting guard. As a shooting guard, you want to be like 43, 44 or higher. So 46% is a pretty high percentage, shooting almost 36 from three. Here on the pick and roll, Denver's going to put two in the ball. Now you got a short roll with Gobert here. Again, you got to know your personnel. Not a great offensive player, more at the rim or out of the dunker. So that's probably not the best option. Here he just keeps his dribble and then changes speed, changes direction, and gets to that mid-range spot. All right, mid-range from that spot is probably his most efficient, or probably the most high, high field goal, attempted shot in the mid-range for him, shooting 48% from that spot, which again, very good, very solid percentage to shoot. On the change of direction, all right, as they help up on the weak side, now you've got shooters on the weak side, or at least one. All right, Conley could shoot, McDaniels not as much, but again, just trying to force multiple defenders on the ball. So again, changing speed, change direction, get to your kill spot, all right, pull up at the free throw line. All right, Jokic is in a drop, not really contesting the ball. Caldwell Pope, rear view challenge. He just pulls up, right? Good footwork, left, right into a righty drive, 2 points. All right, next clip, transition pull-up three. Let's take a look at it. 5 years ago, one of the worst shots in basketball, not even worth working on. Today, it's one of the more valuable shots in basketball to be able to, put the ball on the floor, get the defender back, and be able to pull up off that space. Here, in transition, he pulls that ball in front of him to get that defender back. And that's what you want. You want to be able to move that defender back, get a reaction out of him. In transition, instead of just going soft dribbles where he could play up on you and then maybe open up a drive, that hard dribble is going to pull Murray back and then open up that space. And now watch it, as he's right before he shoots, he sort of slows down and gets into that left-right footwork. All right, pull up, jump shot, 3. Again, 36% three-point shooter, very effective pull-up jump shooter. But again, great job creating space by pulling that ball in front. Next clip, ISO up top, drive left, change speeds, and gets to the basket with a lefty finish. Let's take a look at it. Here, there's supposed to be a pick and roll. Gobert tries to set it. Murray sort of gets in his way. Here, all he does is change the speeds and change, just off the lefty drive. He's dribbling the ball. He's got his defenders, playing him straight. Doesn't really force him one direction, and just puts on the jets, changes speeds, no screen, and just finishes with the left. We talked about his percentages at the rim, 62%, but being able to drive both directions. I think you're seeing that more and more in the playoffs with lefty finishes from Edwards. You got to be able to finish with both hands and using the glass and just being a very effective finisher once you get in there. But if you're just going to be a right-handed player, they're just going to play to that left hand. Here, he just takes it upon himself. They're not pushing him one way, forcing him one way. He just changes speeds, gets his defender on his hip, and finishes through contact. He got multiple defenders, and then finishing with that left hand off the glass. It's a very effective. As a player, you got to develop your weak hand. As a coach, you got to really thrive in teaching your players to get more confident going their weak hand for the finish. Next clip, on the move, Edwards catches it from the left wing, drives it, finishes at the other side of the basket. Let's take a look at it. Doing things off the move is very good for the offensive player. You always want to get your defender moving. Catching the ball flat-footed, not moving, sometimes gives the advantage to the defense. Here, Edwards passes the ball out, all right, and he's going to take Braun up with him. Now, as he comes up with him, Braun's got to be guarding him. He's got to be moving. The problem is on the catch, now all of Braun's momentum is going towards half court, where now Edwards catches it on balance and makes that drive, towards the rim. So again, giving him the advantage off the catch. So he moves it up, catches it, doesn't waste any time. Keeps that left foot as his pivot, drives off that right foot, and then gets Braun on his hip. Once he gets Braun on his hip, now we could attack the weak side. All right, they crack down from the weak side on Holiday, on Gobert here. He's guarding McDaniel in the corner. On the drive, now Braun's going to get beat. Jokic is going to rotate over. They're going to crack down on Gobert, so it's not an easy lob. All right, and he's just going to catch it, go up, scoop it back, and then finish off the reverse layup. Again, once you get to the paint, you have to be able to finish and have, many finishes that you can go to. Floaters, layups, 1 foot, 2 foot. This is a great drive, wastes no time, and attacks the weak side of the defense. All right, next clip. Handoff. Going to pull back up out of this corner, catch it, straight line drive. All right, finish at the other side of the basket using the left. Let's take a look at it. Talked about it in the last clip of just catching the ball and being able to rip your defender through. Here off the handoff, he's just going to pull up out of the corner a little bit, get that defender moving. Murray's going to try to take a stab at it. His momentum's going forward, while now Edwards is going to take advantage of that and drive it to the rim. On the catch, he drives it. All right, Murray does a pretty good job, getting to the hip and trying to stop this drive. All now Edwards is going to do is freeze him with that little sort of stop and go. All right, and then get to the basket, finishing with the left hand over Jokic. Remember, 62%. We're seeing his ability to finish, not only on the dunk, but non-dunk finishes. But again, that straight line drive, using that weak hand is such a great weapon. Next clip, pull up 3 from that left wing. Let's take a look at it. We saw this already earlier in the breakdown, just the ability just to have rhythm and be able to pull up off the dribble. Being able to be, shooting off the catch is great. Off the move is even better. But now being able to create all 3, spot up, on the move, and pull up off the dribble from 3. This comes up in a million different situations. Pull up 3 in transition, pick and roll 3 when the defense goes under, or the bigs and drop. But now just being able to nonchalantly come up, just come to the left side. See that little hang dribble at the end where he just sort of changes speeds on it. He's trotting. Now he goes slow into that left-right. Quick shot. Remember we talked about 36%. He's shooting 36% on the year on that spot, but just being able to pull up from 3 is a huge weapon from any wing player. All right, next clip. Little slot pick and roll. Pulls up behind the defense. 3-point shot. this is such a big part of his game, and I think it's just going to get better. His percentages have been going up. He's one of those players that just seems like he attacks weaknesses, during off seasons. And if he can get that 3-point shooting up to 38, 39, even at that 40% threshold, it's going to be just a different ball game as far as how he has to be guarded and defended. Here he just comes over. All right, Murray's going to spin around that, beneath that screen to try to get through, but just not enough time. He just catches it. All right, catches him off that spin. Right, left on the footwork, pull up 3. All right, next clip. Drive. All right, spin, step through, finish with the left hand. Everything was great here except the travel that they didn't call. All right, so on the drive here, all right, just the little hesitation to get Gordon going. All right, he attacks. Great job here between the legs, going to his right, the spin. He just has to hold that pivot foot a little bit. He could he could use the fake here to get Gordon going this way and then step through with the lefty finish. This is sort of like MJ-esque. MJ used this move more in the post and spin, and then get or back down and getting the player to go on the spin and then re-step and step through to the middle. Here he does it on the spin, but he drags that pivot foot that they don't call. See how that right foot starts sliding, which is a travel. He's got to keep that right foot down to be able to use the fake and step through. He spins, slides that foot, but again, what I really like is the lefty finish. Edwards uses, he's probably one of the best elite players that uses weak hand on a regular basis on finishes. Having that, just being really confident and comfortable using that left in games in pressure situations like that is just really good to see. But being able to keep your feet, be able to do it legally, and use your spins and fakes after drives to get defenders up is a great tool. Just got to keep your pivot foot down. All right, last clip. Just change the direction, change the speed, drive, finish, going right. I think it's a common theme on his change of speeds and change of directions, how he changes speeds. Sets his defender up on what speed and then, changes to another gear. You always got to keep that defender sort of guessing. Doesn't matter the situation. Here they set the pick and roll. Braun sort of gets through it. Jokic is, going to help on the ball a little bit. But just that easy change of direction. Doesn't really over dribble, doesn't overdo it in isolation situations. Once he changes direction, he attacks. And being able to finish at a high rate with your right or your left hand, could dunk it, non-dunk finish, but just having a great ability to finish is such an important skill to have. Just change his direction, change his speeds, gets to the basket, finish. I want to thank everybody for spending the 12, 13 minutes out, with me on the film breakdowns. If you don't mind sharing this as much as possible to as many players and coaches that you know, really want to build this community up a little bit as far as watching, breaking down film, and having discussions about the game. Appreciate your time.